Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the BOCC statutory meeting. Today's date is Thursday, May 28th, and the time is 9:03 a.m. We will call this meeting to order. First up is the Pledge of Allegiance. Amanda, would you lead us, please?
One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We will take attendance beginning with Ms. Mitchell.
Cynthia Mitchell, County Attorney.
Paula McFeeters.
Zach Swearingen.
Miles Lucero.
Thank you to everybody else in attendance. We have meeting minutes from April 23rd of 2026 to approve. I will ask for a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Are there any modifications to today's agenda?
There are none.
I will ask for a motion to approve today's agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. That'll bring us into public comment. I did not have anybody on the list out there. Is there anyone here in the chambers that would like to speak for public comment? Once, twice, nope. All right. We will move on from that. That'll bring us into our regular agenda, Ms. Mitchell.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. The first item on our regular agenda, 2A, is a resolution approving the agreement for home-based family preservation services between Maple Star, Colorado, doing business as Claravita and Pueblo County on behalf of DHS, presented by Chris Reed, Protective Service Program Deputy Director.
Good morning, Commissioners. Chris Reed with Child Welfare. I am requesting permission to enter into a core services contract with Maple Star Claravita, which is a service provider that primarily works with our families to provide supported family time, life skills, and family therapy. Pueblo County Child Welfare Core Services allocation is 80% provided by state federal funding and 20% county match that is budgeted in Fund 204. Core services funds are the payer of last resort and cannot be used on expenditures where there is another source of payment. The contract with Claravita Maple Star is $100,000 for community home-based services for child welfare families. Last fiscal year, 24-25, we spent $41,000 on Claravita services, and so far this current fiscal year, we've spent about $11,000 and have served 3 families.
Thank you, Chris. It looks like 100,000 is the limit for the year. Is that?
That's correct.
Okay.
And Chris, can you just kind of quickly talk to how this one differs or is similar to the last few that we've been reviewing?
It's very similar, Commissioner. This agency actually is also domestic violence provider also. So there are little differences in the services that they provide for families.
Do you see the annual spend being roughly equivalent to last year?
It would be very similar. They do a lot of supported family time for our families, a lot of
Okay.
supervised visitation.
Have we seen historically a bump in any given, say, last 5 years or anything for any reason?
Not that I would be able to speak to today, so nothing of note.
Okay. Okay. Great. That's all I've got.
Thank you.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I will ask for a motion to approve item 2A.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, motion passes. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. Item 2B is a resolution approving the agreement between Pueblo County on behalf of DHS and the Pueblo Interagency Oversight Group for the provision of collaborative management program services, presented by Lee Hart.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning, sir. Morning.
We're requesting to be able to sign the memorandum of understanding from the Colorado Department of Human Services to continue the collaborative management program. We're the fiscal agent for this program, and it's funded with 100% state funds, so no county funds are needed for this request. The funds carry over program year to program year, if not expended, so we do have an amount of reserves and program funds in a county account that the program accesses. The intent of the program is to serve young people at a local level in a way that reduces duplication and maximizes collaboration between agencies, with a focus on school-aged young people with attendance issues, so that we can hopefully engage families in order to prevent young people from being served and moving deeper into mandatory systems such as juvenile justice and child welfare. Crossroads is the employment agency for this program that employs the coordinators, and lost my place. Our signature would continue the program that's been effective in our community for a number of years. Any questions?
So do the coordinators work directly with the school counselors? How does that program work?
The coordinator do work directly with the school counselors. Pueblo City Schools actually do house the coordinators.
Oh, okay.
And when they have some of these issues, they can make referrals directly to the coordinators, or the coordinators also go to truancy court and they hear some of the things that are going on with the families and will connect with the families outside in the hallways afterwards to offer services.
Okay, thank you.
Lee, can you talk about like what are some of the specific services offered when a young person is referred to the program? What happens?
The program, what it's designed to do from the state is to initially do a meeting called a family support team meeting, which they get all of the agencies that are working with the family, hopefully around the table, to see what has been working and hasn't been working with the family. And then from there, it's a very diverse what they do. They don't actually case manage, but what they do is to make sure that they're referred to different agencies in the community that can best serve these families. And there are some funds that they can do to help with like transportation. So if the issue is that the family needs a car repair in order to get their child back and forth to school, they have some limited funds that can do that. But by and large, it's really coordination of services that are already available within our community and making sure that each family is able to access those and just following through with making sure that they get to those services.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Lee, how many families do you serve, or how many students in a year are impacted by this program?
From the truancy, approximately 200 overall between working with children in truancy and with different events and things that they attend, about 900 youth a year.
Well, that explains to me the coordination needed, because there are so many different services available to support them. I was just trying to figure out the coordination piece and why, but it sounds like due to the numbers and the types of things, it is a lot of varied services across the spectrum there.
Have they created a metric for success? I mean, and are they measuring that? And then how are those results, produced, and who can have access to those?
Anyone can have access to the metrics. They right now measure across 4 domains: across education, across health, across juvenile justice, and I can't remember the last one. But the main one that they do is in reduction of truancy, so increase in attendance. And so far, what they've seen is an increase year over year. So they've seen about a 50% reduction over the last year in truancy behaviors from the children that they serve.
Well, that's good. I mean, that can be viewed as a success. I mean, and quite frankly, I think that you need to continuously have those measures is this working or not?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, that's good. What you said, did you say how much was in reserves? Because you said it carried one year to year?
Right now, it's approximately $200,000 that we have in reserves, and the reserves are mostly because in case one of the mandatory partners pulls out, the reserves are to shut the program down if it's necessary. But that is a good thing that we can add any additional above the reserves onto the budget each year. We get about $200,000 per year from the state to run the program.
Okay.
So is it our staff, county staff, that administers the PIOG, or who is that?
So the coordinators hired by Crossroads Turning Points are the ones that actually administer that. There is an interagency oversight group, or the PIOG, that is the board that they report to. So I am the chair of that board. So there are some county staff that are on that board, the interagency oversight group, to see what the coordinators are doing and get report outs each month.
Okay.
All right, cool. I don't have anything else.
Nothing further.
Yeah, thanks, Lee. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I will ask for a motion to approve item 2B.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
Thank you. Item 2C is a resolution establishing the Pueblo County Noxious Weed Advisory Board, presented by Amanda Hobson, Deputy Director of Parks and Recreation.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
This is the final deliverable of the Colorado Department of Agricultural Noxious Weed Grant. It was established the comprehensive weed management plan for the natural resource.
Amanda, I'm sorry, can I interrupt you?
Yeah.
Can you just bring the mic down a little bit? And I apologize, I meant to remind all speakers when you come up to put that mic right in your face, which I'm guilty of not doing all the time, which Anthony points out. Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry
hear
to
me better?
interrupt. Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I'll start over. The final deliverable of the Colorado Department of Agricultural's noxious weed grant. It establishes the comprehensive weed management plan for the natural resource section of Pueblo County. The grant provides the county with educational materials, tools, vendor booth materials, and also staff training, all of which support our efforts towards success. The Noxious Weed Advisory Board gives county landowners a formal voice in weed management process. And then the accompanying ordinance updates the county code to meet current standards under the Colorado Revised Statute. It emphasizes education first, collaboration always, and enforcement only when necessary. I also have Sarah Long here to answer any questions over the county code.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
I just want to thank you for the packet that explains the details of this. And also, as a resident of Pueblo West, I'm against weeds too. I fight them daily. But that joking aside, I do believe as you live in a natural habitat, the natural buffalo grass that grows around my property, you know, I want to make sure I mitigate the weeds, but I keep the natural environment and the habitat for the little bunnies and the quail. And it's an important venture into educating the public about how to control weeds, but also to keep the natural habitat in place that has been there for a long, long time. So thank you for pulling this together. I think it is all across the county an important process for all of us to understand and know. But yeah, when I heard about this, I was laughing at the title of what it is, but there are noxious weeds that are invasive and are not part of our natural habitat. And it's important to keep that natural environment together, that we have something like this in code and also available to citizens for reference. So thank you.
Thank you. And I have to give credit to Donovan Shepherd and Abe Armandaris. They're the ones that basically led this project.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Yeah, and I like, the statement of education and continuously collaborating, and then the punitive measure being, last resort. My only question is not specific to this, but the participation from local, whether it be ranchers, farmers, or just homeowners, is that at a high level? Can that be higher? I mean, is there a lot of debate between people, or are they normally of the same mindset on how to deal with noxious weeds?
I'm going to go ahead and pass this over to Donovan, and he has been engaging with the community and can actually go into depth over the conversation.
Appreciate it.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Yes, it could be not necessarily toxic, but everybody has their own opinions on how to deal with certain species. Us personally, we always refer back to the CDA and their best practices that they provide, and we usually reach out to the CSU Extension Office and we collaborate together with them in order to convey to other members of the community why we do it this way, why it's the best approach, and the scientific reasoning behind it.
Okay. Is there a lot of combativeness to that expert opinion?
No, not necessarily, no. I mean, there's always competitiveness in whatever that you do or whatever that you try to achieve. But for the most part, no, everybody is on the same level and everybody
Yeah.
just has the same goal, long term.
Sir, what would you say to a constituent who approaches the county, sees that we're passing this new ordinance and says, now the county's going to come after us for having weeds on my property? Is that the intent of this?
That is not the intent whatsoever. Our intent is to educate, collaborate. This ordinance has been around at least since 2012. I know Miss Cynthia Mitchell probably has more information. The Noxious Weed Act was established back in 1996. It's been around for a long time. This is nothing new.
Thank you. And my understanding based on the ordinance language is that the county is obligated to do our own abatement on an adjacent parcel prior to asking a property owner to do anything. Is that a correct interpretation?
Correct. Yes, so the county is mandated that we take care of our own weeds, our own noxious weeds. And so that's my job, is I go out and I locate and find and try to contain or eradicate or treat any of these areas throughout the county. So yes, we are mandated to. The people out there are encouraged to. We're here to educate them. I'm not here to enforce anything or to go after anyone.
Appreciate that.
We should have more ordinances and legislation that are non-hypocritical.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, I mean, I think Miles brought up a good point though of the public seeing this and potentially misconstruing it to, oh, now the county's gonna come out and penalize all of us and make us clean everything. I mean, if you've got noxious weeds, they're, called noxious weeds for a reason.
Exactly. And I want to clarify too, this has nothing to do about weed height. It's about the species
Right.
of weed.
Okay.
Thank you.
So this question for Ms. Mitchell, I don't believe that we've designated members of this noxious weed board to date. Is that correct?
Yeah, I could answer that for you. So the intent of the resolution today would just be to legally establish the board, and then that way staff can actually post for those positions.
Okay.
Once we had those applications, hopefully we would have enough to fill all 5 seats. Then they would be sent to you to choose. And once they're appointed, they would be appointed for the first time in a staggered 1, 2, and 3-year terms. That way they don't all expire at the same time. And there is a 6th member, but they're a non-voting member, and that would be the, basically the board's designation onto, your board's designation onto the advisory board. And it's currently written that that would be Donovan, and that's just so that we can be sure that we have somebody knowledgeable from the county side who can advise the board when they are doing votes.
Okay.
So do we need to take formal steps to appoint Donovan as the natural resources supervisor?
Or wait, or,
That is his official title, is actually the noxious weed supervisor.
Okay.
So I believe in the ordinance, and I'm looking at Sarah for this one, is by having that title, whoever holds that position goes into that role.
So that's in the resolution. The title is in both the ordinance, which I'll talk a little bit more about the ordinance when we do get to that item. But in the resolution, it's already designated for that role. It also says or their designee, and that's intended not necessarily to have somebody else going regularly, but if, say, there's a meeting coming up and Donovan's not available, but there's somebody else who's knowledgeable on it, instead of having to try and reschedule the meeting, they could designate somebody just to be there for that specific meeting.
Okay. Thank you.
And to the community, for those of us that fight weeds on our property, I have a pro weed tip that I use, which is get good gloves, and on a day like today, you can easily pull hundreds of weeds. And it's something my grandmother taught me a long time ago because they lived on a farm. And it really came in useful. So my kids laugh at me, but that's, if I was home today, this is what I would be doing, is pulling weeds, just to say,
yeah, those of us with bad backs.
won't do that. Yeah. Gotcha. Sorry, Commissioner, were you about to say something?
No, I think I'm good. I just want to make sure that we prefer the title natural resource supervisor to weed coordinator. It's one of the
Yeah,
big updates.
it also matches the state.
What is-
A lot of the updates that you'll see when I talk about the ordinance second are just matching, like cleanup language and matching certain things to the state statute, because when they updated the Colorado Noxious Weed Act, they made some of these changes.
Okay. Yeah, I think I am good to go with this resolution, establishing the board.
Yeah, weed coordinator could have various meetings.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I will ask for a motion to approve item 2C.
So moved.
I will second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
Thank you. That takes us to item 3, the first reading of the ordinance number 2026-35. So this is first reading. The board won't need to make any decisions, but Ms. Sarah Long will explain the ordinance to the board and the public, and then we will set it out for a second reading before the ordinance can be adopted. And it needs to be published in the newspaper for a period of 2 weeks. In our meeting last week related to the ordinance for the curfew, I believe I read the timelines for a home rule county, but since we're statutory, it's a 2-week timeline to be published.
Okay.
And we will do that for both of the ordinances. So if we can set this out for 3 weeks, that would give us time to get it published.
Okay.
So the ordinance, I'll try not to like repeat too much of what we just spoke about. And I do also want to thank Donovan and the whole team for helping a lot with the updates on this and answering a lot of my questions. So as Amanda said, the emphasis in the code, one of the substantive changes is to add the language stating that we're going to focus on supporting collaborative voluntary management using education and other resources. So we wanted, or the team wanted to make it clear that while there are steps to take if that the county can take if there is no collaborative effort from the landowner, the focus is going to be education and voluntary management. As I said, we updated the job title to match the actual title that we have. A lot of the updates you'll see just there's a lot of redlining in there. A lot of that is just cleanup language. One thing that was added is clarifying the appeal process for arbitration. So when a landowner, if they get a notice saying that they need to do something about the noxious weeds and they disagree with the notice that comes from the department, one of the options they have is they can request an arbitration panel. And the arbitration panel would make the final management plan for them. And so because that is already kind of an appeal step, the appeal from the arbitration panel plan, if the landowner still disagrees, would have to be a court action. That would not be going to you. However, if they basically ignore the notice or just don't comply at all and also don't request an arbitration panel, at that point in the code, the department can bring their plan to you, and it would be up to you to decide whether or not the county is going to pursue further action. And further action could be even getting basically court approval to go onto the property, manage the weeds ourselves, and then bill the property owner for those costs. I did add language in there, making sure that that was a discretionary decision on your behalf so that you can actually get the information presented by the department and make that determination. I didn't want the language to be vague so that a third party could try and bring a claim saying that you had to enforce it on, say, their neighbor's property or something along those lines. So we did clarify that. And then the last big substantive change is adding in the language on violations of the chapter. This is also in compliance with the changes in the state side. They added code violations for this as civil infractions. And I put the language in just so that it's subject to fines as determined by state statute. Currently, state statute has that as a violation fine not to exceed $1,000 per violation. But if they have had multiple of the same types of violation, that can be doubled. That's what the statute has it as.
Who does the arbitration panel consist of?
That's a good question. And it is set out in the code, and I just want to make sure I don't. So the it will be one person has to be a weed management specialist or weed scientist. A second person has to be a landowner of similar land in the same county. So somebody who has similar land to the property in question, also within unincorporated Pueblo County. And then the third panel member is chosen by agreement of the first two panel members, which may sound odd, but I think that comes straight from the state statute. So it'd be a panel of three, presumably 3 specialists.
And that is assembled as need be, or is that dedicated prior to anything?
I think it would be assembled as need be, and that we already had in our code, and I've never heard of it being needed. Amanda, have we had? Yeah, I don't think it's
Okay.
happened yet. So
Okay.
we would just, deal with it when it arose.
Okay.
Closest thing we've had is we've had a couple situations where we thought we had a class A List A, and we had to contact the property owner and say that we were going to go on the property, which they approved, and we went on and identified through the CDA. We actually had to send a sample up to Denver Botanical Garden, and they determined whether it was a Class A or not. And that's the closest we've had so far.
Okay. Cool. You guys got anything?
No, I think this is good for the first reading. We'll go through the steps and do the final approval in a few weeks.
Okay.
So June 23rd would be a great date to bring this back for second reading
Okay.
and adoption.
Okay. Cool. Thanks, Amanda. Thanks,
Sarah.
Sarah.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks all.
Stay everybody.
Okay. I think that'll just bring us into commissioner comments. I can be super short with just as a reminder, we've got CSAC joint meeting on Monday with city council. Other than that, I guess go pull some weeds.
Yes.
I wanted to take a couple, I was asked to highlight an event going on this weekend on May 30th. Pueblo West will hold a no-cost one-day community cleanup starting at 8 a.m. You can take your items to 280 East McCullough Boulevard. You're allowed one load per household, residential only. Large items like large item furniture are allowed, paint, scrap metal, tires with no rims, please. The event will end when the roll-off fills up. So if you want more information, please go to the Pueblo West Metro Facebook page, and they are seeking volunteers to come help with the event. I also wanted to mention folks that track our agendas and follow along with City Council will notice that there have been some conversations regarding Project Falcon. Project Falcon is an advanced manufacturing project that is looking at Pueblo as a possible site for a new operation. The community, by and large, has not had a lot of explicit details about this project, and that is intentional. You know, when a big project is looking at our community, there are certain things that are kept confidential for a myriad of reasons. So I just want the public to know, yes, these conversations are happening. There will come a time when stakeholding happens with the community. Right now, we're still very much at the beginning negotiation phase. We are making sure that we understand the relevant facts, what this project could look like. And I want to assure that, however supportive or unsupportive of this project we are at this moment, it is our obligation to make sure that the community is informed prior to having a deal done. And that is my commitment. I think my commissioners share that commitment. And so we will, I think, very soon be able to share more details. It's a project I'm really excited about. It's a project that's been in the works for years, and a lot of people in the community have been working on it. And so I just wanted to address that. This deal will not get done without community engagement. And that's a commitment. I think that's it. I hope everyone has a great weekend, and go Hornets.
Thank
Yeah.
you. That's a nice segue into my comments. Yesterday, I did spend some time. I had a meeting with our local other electeds together, and we do that quarterly as a board. We meet with our other elected officials, and I just want to say thank you to all of them for their leadership during our budget seasons that we've experienced because of their leadership, and to all of our staff for working really hard to help us achieve savings across the board. I think we're doing good in that area, and I owe that to the leadership of our other electeds and our staff and our directors. And just thank you for all that you've done. I know it's been difficult, and it continues to be. This board is committed to continuing to manage the budget and the operations of the county in an effective way. And thank you, Commissioner, for the comments about the meeting. I also attended the city council meeting on Tuesday night as both a citizen of Pueblo County and as an elected official. And I believe it is part of my responsibility to be engaged in discussions regarding issues of importance to our entire county. I encourage all citizens to be engaged. I went both as an observer and a witness to the process of how local city government operates. And I want to address some important context for the economic development grounded in Pueblo's own history and experience, because there's a lot of conversations about what economic development is, but there is history in Pueblo. And I learned something Tuesday night that I did not know. History seems to be a little lost in the conversation, so I just want to go over that real quick. First, taxpayers deserve transparency and accountability with half-cent sales tax funds, and asking hard questions about any major project is not only appropriate, it is part of our responsibility in negotiating with any prospect. Pueblo did not create economic development tools by accident, but by experience. After the collapse of the steel economy, Pueblo experienced devastating economic hardships and high employment levels. And the city did try and failed at its internal effort to attract business investment. Then community leaders and citizens came together and formed PEDCO in 1981 because doing nothing was not a strategy. And in 1984, Pueblo voters went a step further to approve the half-cent sales tax specifically for economic development purposes, and they have reapproved it every time it's been on the ballot. That fund exists because Pueblo citizens intentionally created it to compete for jobs and investment. Economic incentives are not an unusual or unprecedented strategy. In fact, incentives are precisely why this tool exists. Over time, PEDCO-assisted projects have helped attract and expand many companies to invest in Pueblo. Just as an example, there's Target Distribution Center, Train, BF Goodrich, just to name a few. Those are not abstract companies. Those are families buying homes. Those are people spending money at local businesses. Those are opportunities staying in Pueblo instead of leaving Pueblo. Confidentiality during negotiations is not unique to Pueblo in attracting investment. Companies are evaluating other communities because they are making competitive business decisions across multiple markets. Additionally, confidentiality during negotiations is not the same as permanent secrecy or a lack of transparency. It's the process of competing for that investment. Pueblo cannot afford to forget our history. For decades, Pueblo has worked to diversify its economy and create opportunities beyond dependence upon one industry. The question before us should not be whether we support transparency or economic growth. Pueblo deserves both. We can ask hard questions and still pursue opportunities. We can protect taxpayers and still compete. We should absolutely scrutinize every proposal. We should ask whether the return justifies the investment. We should examine impacts on infrastructure, taxpayers, and long-term sustainability. And we should negotiate in good faith on behalf of our citizens. Every successful project Pueblo has ever had once began as a proposal Pueblo had the courage to pursue. And Pueblo County is all in on attracting new business and industry opportunities. We want to say yes to future growth and job prospects while also getting the best opportunity for our citizens. Our history has taught us that it has been and can still be done. Pueblo, you deserve the very best, and leadership which inspires you and reminds you of your worth and ability to attract the very best. Let's keep working. Together we can make that a vision and a reality for generations to come. Thank you.
Sorry. Yeah, thank you both for some very well said comments on Project Falcon. And to your point, Miles, there's obvious reasons when for NDAs and things like that. I mean, there's legal requirements around that. So there's no intention on being secretive or anything else. We have to adhere to that. But before any, official decisions, yes, this board, I think, is committed to being transparent, having that community involvement. And again, we've let opportunities slip through our fingers in the past, and people remember that. I mean, Walmart, for example, Budweiser, there's a few of them out there. And so I think we need to keep that at the forefront and, work collaboratively with all the partners in this community to, bring jobs and bring higher paying industry jobs, which we all sit up here and we talk about, and that's needed in this community. So I appreciate both y'all's comments on that. Before we exit out of this meeting, I would like to give our esteemed county attorney a few moments to make an announcement.
Thank you, Commissioners. It has been a pleasure serving Pueblo County for the last 17 years and a privilege to serve as county attorney for the last 10. An opportunity has come up for me to serve as the general counsel for the Pueblo Urban Renewal Authority, and I've decided to take that role. It's an opportunity and challenge I can't pass up. While leaving is bittersweet, I'm excited to work with Pura and on projects that will continue to develop and grow our beautiful community. I want to thank my staff in the county attorney's office who have been amazing friends and colleagues. You won't find a better group of attorneys in any other county. Rest assured that while I'm departing, you are in good and capable hands. I will be available to assist with a smooth transition in the coming weeks. And thank you again. I wish the county the best moving forward.
Thank you, Cynthia. Yeah, well said. When you told us, like I told you, I mean, I'm never gonna hold any sort of grudge or anything for people doing what's best for them and their family. And you've been an integral part, I mean, of this organization. And like I told you yesterday, I'm happy for you. You're a good person, and you bring a lot to the table. So I thank you for everything that you've done around here.
Same here. It's been a pleasure. It seems like we've been working together forever, even though it's been not even a year and a half. And like I told you yesterday, thank you for all of the guidance, keeping me out of trouble to the best of your ability. I'm very glad that you're going to be sticking around. You're an asset to the community. You've been an asset to this organization for a long time, and I know you're going to continue to bolster and push forward with Pura. So glad that I'll be able to give you a phone call and bug you still. And thanks for everything. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia. It was a difficult phone call for me. We have been in interesting challenges this last year, and it's been important that you've been on our side advising us and helping us. And just to go along with what they said, we congratulate you and wish you the best in this new opportunity. I think it's always important to continue to learn and grow. And this is an exciting opportunity for you. And I'm also glad you won't be far away. That history, that 10 years of working in this particular office is very important to the county and to your staff. We are, of course, sad, but excited for you as well as you take the challenge to continue the work while we look for someone new in that role. So thank you again for just doing your job and doing it well for us. And wow, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you very much. And she'll be around here for a little bit. Thank you. In general, because
We know-
Pura
we
is
know where to
not
find
in a
you.
different state. Yeah,
We can find her if we
that's
need her.
right. That's right. Great, thank you. Our next meeting will be June 2nd. I will ask for motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned.